Hi, my name is Caitlin Terry, and this is Bree, and I'm going to be practicing a situation in which I am the therapist working with a client who is experiencing some suicidal ideation. And so I'm going to be working with her to first assess for suicide and then go through and create a safety plan with her to make sure that she can be as safe as possible for the future. So we'll go ahead and start. Hi, Bree, how are you doing today?
All right, I guess.
Yeah? Tell me about your week.
There's not really much to tell. It was not that exciting of a week. I didn't really do a whole lot.
Yeah, it's kind of so.
Mm, It was it kind of sucked.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dang. I'm sorry to hear that. I hate bad weeks.
Mm.
Um, can you tell me like what about your week sucked?
Mm, I don't really know. I just haven't really felt like I'm doing much of anything, and life just feels kind of slow, and I don't know, sometimes I just wonder what the point is.
Yeah, it kind of sounds like you're in a place where you're kind of stuck and you're kind of just wondering like what am I even doing with my life?
Yeah, is there even any point to having a life?
Yeah. Brie, can I ask you a sincere question?
Sure.
In the last, week or so, have you thought about harming yourself?
Mm, I'm not really not into self harm or anything like that, but sometimes I feel like it might be better if I just wasn't really here anymore.
Yeah. Like sometimes you just, like you said, like you feel kind of a lack of purpose and you wonder, like, what's the point? Like you said.
Mm.
Well, thank you for sharing that with me, Brie. I know that that can be like a really vulnerable thing to say, and I appreciate your honesty and your trust. Um, and so I am just kind of wondering, obviously, like I care about you and I want you to be as safe as possible. I'm wondering if I can use this resource with you. It's called, have you ever heard of a safety plan?
Mm, Not really.
Okay, that's okay. So a safety plan, what it is, basically, because I think that what you're experiencing is very normal. Like lots of people go through situations where they're like, like they feel similar things to what you're feeling. And so what a safety plan does, and some people also call it a self-care plan, is it helps you to be able to like recognize within yourself like when you're starting to feel down low and also help you to kind of develop a plan for how you can feel better and how you can help yourself be safe. Does that sound like something that you'd like to go through with me?
Sure.
Okay, awesome. So we can go through and we can make this plan together. I don't know if you have like a pen and a pencil there with you or if you can like take notes on your computer.
Yeah, I can take notes on my computer.
Cool, because I'll have you write down these answers so that you can have access to them. And then,
Mm.
are you okay with me taking some notes as well, just in case like you lose your copy and you need an extra, I can have it on hand?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, cool. So let's go through this. Um, what I love about this plan is it's really easy. It just kind of gives us some steps. So I'll give you like a brief rundown of what those steps are, and then we'll run through them together. So first we're going to be talking about like some warning signs of like what cues you in to like what like lets you know that like you're feeling off, and like if there's any situations that makes you feel that way. The second step are things that you can do on your own to help yourself, feel a little bit better. Reason number three is reasons that you have for like sticking around. And then four are social supports that you have, whether they be like family members or friends. And then we'll talk about some, like professionals that you can call, like me or a suicide hotline or something like that if you feel like you need to get to that point where you need a little bit of additional help. So are you okay with us going through and just like putting some answers to those questions and those steps?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, awesome. Thanks, Bree. So the first question, like I said, is us just kind of talking about some of those warning signs, some of those things that happen that let you know that like, oh no, like I'm having a rotten week or a rotten day and like I'm getting to the point where something might happen where I want to like hurt myself. What are some warning signs that you've noticed in the past?
Um, I think just like feeling sleepy all day and like it's really hard to get out of bed. And then like in the afternoon, even though I slept a whole bunch, I'll just like fall asleep in the middle, like of just reading something. Or, like all I want to do is sleep.
Yeah. So lack of energy, a
Mhm.
lack of interest in doing anything, just kind of feeling kind of like a little bit mopey, a little bit. A lack of energy and motivation. That's the word I'm looking for, motivation. Okay. So let's go ahead and we'll write that down under that first step. Okay. Are there any other warning signs that you've been able to pick up on?
I mean, it kind of goes along the same, just like I try to do something, but I just lose interest, or like nothing really sounds good anymore, or like I
Yeah.
like try to read a book and it just like not interested in it anymore.
A lack of interest in what usually interests you.
Yeah.
That's a good warning sign. So let's add that to our list. Okay. And then Bree, is this the first time you've ever felt like this, or have you ever felt like this in the past?
Yeah, I felt like this before.
Okay. So this isn't your first time going through this. Is there anything that you did in the past that helped you get through that hard time?
Um, I think pushing myself to be outside more really helped. And like realizing that like even though I didn't want to do it, that I would feel better once I did it.
Awesome. So you recognized that you like to be outside, and even though like you didn't want to, you recognize that if I can just get myself outside, I'll probably feel better.
Mhm.
Okay, awesome. So, as far as like going outside, like does that include like going on a walk or like I know that you mentioned to me that you have a dog. Like does that include taking your dog for a walk? What does going outside look like for you?
Yeah, I really like hiking with my dog. I also like going on bike rides just by myself, where it feels like I can just like go anywhere and not have to like think about anything.
Okay, awesome. Well, I think that as long as when you go outside, as long as you're like riding your bike or like in an area that's safe for you, I think that would be awesome to add to your safety plan. Is there anything else that you would like to add to things that you can do? Like, let's say that it's raining outside or something. Is there anything else that you feel like you can do to help yourself feel better?
Um, Sometimes talking to people, I don't know, like I don't necessarily want to go to a party or anything like that, but like sometimes being around one or two friends does help.
Okay, I love that. So yeah, so your friends. That takes us to not step number three. We'll skip step number three real fast and talk about your friends while you've brought them up. So social supports. Do you feel like you have any friends that you could ever go to if you're feeling like you do want to harm yourself? Who do you feel like you could go to?
I have some friends like they moved away pretty recently, but I think that I could still reach out to them and at least talk, and they'd be willing to listen, and they'd be really open to anything that I have to say. They would listen, and they're really supportive friends.
Good. You have a good connection with them
Mhm.
and you trust them.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. That sounds like somebody who would be perfect to call. So can we add their names and their numbers to your list here?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. What are their names?
Their names are a little weird because we met in a wilderness program. But,
Okay,
so North is one of them, and then Savannah is the other.
love it. What are their phone numbers?
I will. It's on my phone.
For the sake of the practice, we'll just pretend like you told me and we wrote it down. Perfect. Um, awesome. Thanks, Bree.
Mm.
And then let's go back to step number 3 real fast, which is reasons for living, reasons for sticking around. Do you feel like there's anything that if you were to not be here anymore, anything that you would miss or anybody that you would miss?
I would really miss my dog, and I
Your
would
dog.
really worry about what would happen to him if I wasn't here.
Yeah, you love your dog and you want the best for him.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you feel like sticking around to make sure that he was well taken care of would be worth sticking around for?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think that your dog sounds like a perfect person to put on our list here. Is it okay if we go ahead and add him or her?
Yeah, we can add him.
Okay, perfect. Go ahead and add your dog. Anybody else? Or anything else, like being outside or like any activities, anything that you would miss?
Yeah, I really would miss being outside and just hiking and seeing new places.
Yeah. Doing those things that you love.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Kind of sounds like you're passionate about like the outside world and everything. So it's fun to hear you talk about that. So I'll add that to your list as well. Um, perfect. And then real fast, I have a question. Do you think that there's anybody who would miss you if you were gone?
Yeah. Um, I think that those friends that I mentioned would miss me, and um, I have some friends here who haven't moved away that I think would miss me too. And
Absolutely. Yeah. Like I definitely see like I've known you for only a short time, we've only been in services for about a month, but I can see that you are a great person and I see that you're very caring and I really do see you as like a light that people have in their lives and I do think that people would probably miss you. Is it okay if maybe we add them to the list of reasons for living too?
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'll go ahead and add your other friends that you have here. Um, and then Brie, the last step is calling like a crisis line or a professional mental health provider that can, help you if you're ever feeling down. Like if you've gone through like looking at the warning signs, if you've already gone outside and that's not helping, you've talked to your friends and you still feel down and like you want to, hurt yourself or kill yourself. Um, some people that you can talk to. Um, so I'll give you the numbers here. I'll actually write them down on this crisis thing. And then if you can write down the numbers on yours too. The phone number is 555 555 5555. Perfect. And then you can also feel welcome to call me too. You know, I'm always here if you ever want to talk and definitely feel like you can reach out, okay?
Mm. Okay.
Perfect.
Thank you.
And then one other thing that I would like to run through with you as well right now are if you have any, if you've thought of any plans for how you would, end up killing yourself or harming yourself.
Um, I really haven't thought about it that much, but like, I don't know, like I do go hiking sometimes in some kind of dangerous, like potentially dangerous places. Maybe like jumping off of something, or just like sometimes I think about intentionally crashing my car.
Yeah. Okay. So those are definitely, so you mentioned jumping and you mentioned crashing your car. And then I think there was one that I missed. What was it?
Um, and I think I was just using a lot of words to describe those two things.
Okay, you're good. So either jumping or crashing your car. Um, so, obviously part of a safety plan too, I think is thinking how we can, prevent access to those means when you are feeling low. Because you have these reasons that you've mentioned that, you really do have reasons worth living for your dog and everything. and your
Mhm.
friends. Um, how do you think that we could like make it so that you don't have access to your vehicle or like to, intentionally crashing your car or to going and jumping somewhere? Are there any ideas that you have for what would work?
Well, I really don't drive that much, so when I do drive, I could ask someone to carpool with me,
Okay. Yeah.
or I could choose to ride my bike instead.
Okay. Riding your bike instead of driving or making sure that somebody's there with you.
Mhm.
Okay. Awesome. Maybe possibly like having them drive as well, like and just carpooling like you mentioned. I think those are good ideas. Um, and then as far as like going in, jumping somewhere, is there anything that like if you ever had thoughts like that, what could you do to like minimize the chances of that happening?
I think taking my dog with me would help because I don't think that if he was there with me, I would ever do anything.
Okay.
And then also maybe just choosing hiking trails that don't really have that option.
Awesome. I love those ideas. And I think they're very appropriate to put on our list. So, if it's okay with you, we can go ahead and just write those on our list real fast.
Mhm.
Perfect. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Bree. And I don't know if you have any other questions or concerns that you want to go over right now.
I don't, I don't think so, but thank you. I think this will be helpful.
Yeah, absolutely. And don't forget in the future, you can always look back to this list. You have your copy there. If you need another copy, feel free to reach out to me. And if you ever need to talk, even if we don't have a meeting set up, if we don't have an appointment, if you are feeling, like you are at risk of like hurting yourself, or if you just need to talk in an emergency situation, please feel free to call me, okay?
Mhm. Okay.
Okay,
Thank you.
awesome. Okay, thank you. And I'll see you next week, okay?